Well, we've got some leftover jobs to do, loose ends as it were. One of them is this speedo cable. We got to clamp in down below, and we've got to put one there about halfway up to hold that from flopping around. We've gone ahead and put the driver's side floor in, all the bolts. That is optimistic, I would say. You know, we hope we don't have to take it out again, but odds are we know better, we will. Still have to make a cover for the master cylinder access there, and I still have to put the screws in for the boot plate for the pedals. But hopefully that floor panel is in for the last time. We'll find out. Yeah, just when I thought I was done ordering parts, I got some new bits in for the MG today. So we'll get this package open and see what's inside. Well, we got some nuts and bolts. These are bonnet buffer plates. And we found out that we didn't have any of these on the right front wing, so we had to order a set of those, and they come 4 at a time, so that's okay. We also did not have these latch brackets on the right front wing, so we needed 2 of those. The bolts to attach them. What the heck, might as well get the bolts. And we went ahead and got this cover plate for the master cylinder access hole. To be honest, we could have made this, but it was cheaper to buy it than the time it would have taken us to make it. So, you know, postage was free. It came along with the other stuff, so there you go. So we'll go ahead and get this stuff installed. Okay, so we got these new parts in, and we've got a hood buffer pad, and actually we got 4 of those, and we got 2 of these. So there are 2 of these on each side of the car. One goes down in here, one goes in the front, and then we also have these buffer pads that go down in here. One here and one in the front. So fortunately, the ones on the other wing are there, and we'll be able to figure out which way they go. The holes are in the wing, so it should be a case of just bolting them on. We'll see what happens here. We'll get them bolted up and see what happens. It's always nice to have a little cup or a dish. Put all your screws in when you're working. That way when you knock it over, they all go on the floor at the same time. Probably a better deal. They make those magnetic trays, which are really handy. But, you know, we got plenty of these because we like snacks. So gives us something to work out of. Okay, there's the rear one on, and you might notice I had to take the running board off again in order to get the wing out away from the footwell there to get those on. So it's always fun undoing work you've already done, but that's the way it goes. Should have noticed that before. We'll see if we can get the front pair put on. Okay, we got the front pair in and the rear pair in. I have to say that was not fun with the wing on. Would have been a lot easier to do that before I put the wing on, but so it goes. If my arms were about a foot longer, it would have helped, but we're not going to have that either. So now we can hopefully fit the running board back on and get this corner of the car all tidied up. Well, I think we've got the driver's compartment buttoned up. We've got our rubber cover over the transmission and got our floorboards bolted in, and got the rubber boot around the pedals, excluder, whatever you want to call it. Got that screwed down. Got the bottom seat cushions in there. Don't have the driver's side bolted down yet. Don't have the backrest in yet because I want to see if I can lift that cushion out over there and fit myself in there. I was in there the other day without the cushion, and I could get in, but my legs weren't long enough to reach the pedals, so I have this sort of interference between. I kind of got the belly do award. In this case, my belly sticks out farther than my feet do. So seems like no matter what I do, unless I lay down flat, I can't get close enough to the pedals and the steering wheel at the same time. But we'll see what we got. At the very least, I want to get it off the Jenga blocks, and we'll put it on some stands and fire it up and run it through the gears, make sure the wheels go around and the brakes work, and then we'll think about getting it on the ground and maybe driving it round. So this is fun. You're trying to get these cables locked down, and this starter cable has to go through this little clamp over here on the inside of the arm and then down to the starter lever. And of course I put it in the starter lever before I put it in the clamp and had to take it all back apart again, so nothing new there. But now I've got to spread this clamp and feed that cable through there. And the problem here, at least with using old cables, is they get a little frayed on the end if you're not careful, and then you're never going to get them poked through that little hole there on the starter lever. I can get zoom in on it. There it is, little tiny hole. So you got to be real careful. Of course, if you have all brand new stuff, maybe it's a little easier. Right, so we got that fed through there. The other cable for the fuel enrichment goes on the outside, and you have this common bolt that goes through. Now, I have seen some cars that have another cable, a third one for fast idle, but as I've said in previous videos, my carburetor linkage does not have any provision for that, so we don't have that one. But we'll see if we can go on down here and get it hooked up to the starter. Alright, so we did get that fed through there, and if you're doing this new, you've got to remember that I can get the camera where we can see it. You've got to have enough movement here so that your arm comes back before you run out of sort of cable housing. So you got to know the throw on this arm, and in this particular case, this was an old cable. The end was frayed. We cut it off. We trimmed back the housing a little bit here, and we just barely have enough to make this work. And then I found this little gem in the toolbox, and it happens to be the same thread as that nub there. So hopefully this will pinch the cable, and then we may look to see, since we have this ball on here, maybe we can put a little spring on that to make sure that the arm gets pulled back. Right now I'm not sure I'm not sure if it's a push-pull deal where you pull the cable and then push it back, but it might be nice. We'll have to see. It might be nice to have a little spring on that. We'll see how that works out. Alright, so we got our starter hooked up. Potential there, a spot for a spring. We've got our other cable fed through. We've got to go over and see if we can find the little gizmo that goes in here and get that hooked up before we clamp this all together here to hold the hold the outside housings of the cables. So we'll go over there and look in our little tray, and hopefully that part is where we should have put it when we took it out of there. Yeah, we got lucky and found the little piece we needed. It's going to tighten that nut right up there. That'll pinch that cable and hold that cable. And we'll tighten these two up, and hopefully we'll be able to work these controls from inside the car.